The American Academy of Pediatrics and world-renowned child psychologists have been quietly warning parents about the same issue for years. The most popular methods used to speed up potty training can actually turn the process into a months-long nightmare. Clinical studies even show that a seemingly well-intentioned minor mistake can lead to stubbornness crises, bedwetting, and even chronic constipation in children. What if I told you that while trying to say goodbye to your child's diapers, you might actually be building a hidden, hard-to-overcome wall in their psychology that could last for years? Yes, you want to completely get rid of those diapers, the never-ending diaper rash creams, and that infamous smell in the middle of the house. Not to mention the pressure from your surroundings. Oh, come on, ours used to tell us they needed to go at 1 year old. But wait a minute. Take a deep breath, because right now, you might be right in the middle of one of the most critical psychological milestones in your baby's life, and a tiny, well-intentioned move could turn the whole process into a nightmare. Most parents unknowingly make 5 highly critical mistakes during potty training. In fact, the 5th of these mistakes is something done with love and the best intentions, under the guise of "this is the right way." But ironically, months later, this 5th mistake might be the biggest culprit behind those frustrating potty accidents, sudden bedwetting, and stubbornness crises. I will share that big secret and the actual solution with you toward the end of the video when we put all the pieces into place. But first, let's look at the first big trap parents unknowingly fall into while pacing around that little potty. 1. Forcing the biological clock. Most people assume that once their little one starts walking and saying a few words, they can hold their potty too. However, science presents us with a very striking reality. There's a very comprehensive and famous study conducted by Dr. Nathan Blum and his team, published in the medical journal Pediatrics in 2003. This research shows that children who start potty training before 27 months do not finish the training any earlier. On the contrary, the process extends for months and becomes much more painful. Why? Because it's not about your child's intelligence or stubbornness. The issue is physical. In the human body, there is a sheath called myelin that wraps around the nerve pathways going from the brain to the bladder. Think of this sheath like the insulating plastic around electrical cables. Until the myelination process, meaning this insulation, is complete, no matter how smart the child is, they cannot consciously control their muscles. You're trying to pass electricity through an uninsulated cable, and when the light doesn't turn on, you get mad at your child. Yet, in their tiny body, the hardware to press that button just isn't there yet. Therefore, no matter what the neighbor's child does, you have to wait for your own child's physical signals. 2. Exaggerated rewards and unnecessary cheering. When your child pees in the potty for the first time, you practically throw an Olympic championship celebration at home, don't you? Applause, chocolates, shouts of "good job, my champion." At first glance, it looks great, but in child psychology, this triggers a type of anxiety known as performance anxiety. Think about it. If your boss came to your desk, clapped like crazy, and gave you chocolate every time you sent an email, wouldn't your hands start shaking while sending an email after a while? The fear of "what if I fail this time? What if they don't applaud?" sets in. Your child starts to perceive going to the bathroom not as fulfilling a natural bodily need, but as a performance they must put on to make you happy. And the first moment they fail to deliver that performance, they get stressed, tense their muscles, and might completely reject the process. By all means, acknowledge their success with a smile, but urgently step out of that exaggerated party mode. 3. Silent disappointment and the crack in secure attachment. Long before children can understand words, they're like detectives who read emotions. You might not be yelling or getting angry at your child when they have an accident, but your shoulders slumping in that moment, a deep sigh, a slight furrowing of your brows, or that fed-up facial expression you wear while changing their diaper. That's the exact moment a very dangerous equation is formed in that tiny mind. This thing coming out of my body makes my mom or dad sad. Therefore, I should keep it inside. In medicine, this is the #1 psychological trigger for childhood constipation and the stool spoiling problem known as encopresis. This is exactly where secure attachment comes into play. Secure attachment is the child's ability to say, even when I have an accident, even when I make a mistake, I continue to be loved and accepted. The parent's silent disappointment damages this trust. Perceiving what comes out of their body as something bad, the child might refuse to go to the bathroom for days, and this can turn into physical pain followed by trauma. 4. Clothing traps that hinder physical independence. Your child's mind is finally ready. Their nervous system is developed and they feel the need to go to the potty. They run to the bathroom, but what's this? They are wearing a tight onesie with snaps at the bottom, button pants, or complicated suspensors. The command to go is sent to the toilet. The muscles are ready, but those tiny fingers lack the motor skills to undo that button. Within seconds, the accident happens. Do you know what the child feels in that moment? Deep helplessness and inadequacy. They did the right thing and felt it in time, but failed because of their clothes. Completely set aesthetics aside during the training process. Only dress them in loose, elastic, and simple clothes that they can pull down on their own in a single motion. 5. The illusion of "it's time, let's go sit on the potty." And here we are at the biggest, most critical mistake we've been talking about since the beginning. The one we all think is right, but can actually deeply shake a child's psychology. The obsession with controlling the process from start to finish. Please listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Potty training is actually not about the toilet. Potty training is one of the first moments in your child's life when they realize they have control over their own body. In world-renowned psychologist Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages of development, this period is the autonomy versus shame and doubt stage. When you set an alarm every hour and tear the child away from their play to force them to sit on the potty, you are giving them this message: I know your body signals, not you. I decide for you. This situation strips the child of their autonomy, their sense of being an individual. When Dr. T. Barry Brazelton, one of the greatest pediatricians of the 20th century, introduced the concept of the child-centered approach to the medical world regarding potty training, he proved the very simple truth. When you leave the control to the child, resistance drops to zero. When your child sits on the toilet at the times you dictate, they haven't completed potty training. They've simply learned to obey your commands. The solution is actually so simple, isn't it? The solution is to step back like a detective and just observe their signs. Introduce them to the potty, show them where it is, give them space to notice their bodily signals, and leave the control in those tiny hands. So, what's the weirdest or funniest behavior your little one is displaying during this diaper ditching adventure? Is there secretly trying to put the diaper back on at night? Or did they turn that brand new potty into a hat? You're not alone in this exciting and equally exhausting journey, so go ahead and share your experiences in the comments. If this video has illuminated your path even a little bit as you take those tiny steps, don't forget to subscribe and like the video to unlock more psychological secrets. Until we unravel the next secret, stay with love and that admirable patience of yours.